Peach and Toad. I'm going to be up here.
Testing. Oops. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, they did that.
Hey.
Woo. I'm glad we have Toad and Peach up here.
Oh, they are guest hosts.
Yep. They're like, are you going to be doing a podcast? And I'm like, yeah. You want to be on it? I'm like, yeah.
All right.
Hello and welcome to the Let's Talk About It Dad Sports Podcast. Father and son, Toad and Peach, break down the latest happenings in sports. I'm Killian, and with our 3 co-hosts, Dad, Peach, and Toad. We got 2 more now.
We got 2 guests with us today.
Yeah.
Man, AJ Fizzle is going to be pretty upset that we had 2 other guest hosts on before him, even though he won the bracket challenge.
He'll be on next week.
He'll be on next week. Okay, sounds good. Well, listeners, thanks so much for listening to our podcast. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our podcast so you can get a notification every time a new episode drops. We're recording a little bit later this week, aren't we?
Yeah.
Than we normally do, so we apologize that we're getting our...
Let's post it on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll probably post it tomorrow morning. Yep. So we're posting it a little bit late, but we got it in. We are making it happen. We have an email address. What's our email address?
Let's Talk Sports, cjpj@gmail.com.
Send us your questions. Send us your inquiries. Send us your thoughts on different sports and all sorts of good things. Also, be sure to share us with your friends and family. You ready to jump into it?
Yeah.
All right. First, we got a listener email. So it says, Joe and I are really enjoying your podcast.
What?
We have a question. Do the Detroit Pistons still have a chance to win the NBA playoffs? Would love to hear your thoughts. Have a great day, Pat and Joe Hurley. So shout out to Pat and Joe Hurley for writing us an email. Killian, what do you think about the Pistons? Do you think the Pistons still have a chance to win the NBA playoffs?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So at the time we got this email, I'm pretty sure the Pistons had just played their first game of their series in the first round of the NBA playoffs against the Orlando Magic. That's right. And they lost. So that's probably why Pat and Joe are curious on if they think that the Pistons can win the playoffs still. Do you still think that they can do it?
Yeah, in my game, they beat the Nuggets and still lost to the Detroit Rockets.
Who's the Detroit Rockets?
They're from Detroit, but in a different part of Detroit.
Oh,
They're in, like, South Detroit.
In South Detroit. You know, there's a song that Journey sings about South Detroit. Mama is a really good singer of that song. You might have to ask her to sing it to you later.
Yeah, I'm going to go pee before.
Oh, you have to go use the restroom? Okay, let's take a pause then. Listeners, we will be back.
Yep.
And we're back. So, to answer Pat and Joe Hurley's question, what do you think? Are the Pistons still in it to win the playoffs?
Woohoo!
Woohoo! All right, sounds good. So, thanks so much to Pat and Joe for sending us an email. We'll make sure that we respond to your email as well. But other listeners, feel free to send us your questions. So, let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Let's see how things are going. So, at the time of recording, the Pistons did lose Game 1 to the Magic, 112-101. Orlando Magic's player Paolo Banchero, which I think is such a fun name. That's like something that you order at a restaurant, a Paolo Banchero. He had 23 points, and the Magic beat the Pistons to extend the NBA's longest home postseason losing streak. Detroit has lost 11 straight home games in the postseason, a drought that dates back to 2008. That was the year that Dada graduated from high school.
What?
Yeah, a long time ago. However, they came roaring back, and they won Game 2, 98-83, led by Cade Cunningham, who had 27 points and ended that losing streak in the playoffs. So the Pistons are tied 1-1 in their series with the Orlando Magic. Good stuff, right?
Yeah.
They got to head to Orlando for their next game. So here's a wrap-up or a review on how the NBA playoffs are going. Currently, the Thunder are up 2-0 on the Suns in their series. Their next game is going to be on Saturday, April 25th at 3:30 p.m. The Lakers are beating the Rockets 2-0 in their series. Their next game is, as we record tonight, at 8 o'clock tonight. I think you had picked the Rockets.
Yeah, it was the red.
And you picked the Suns. So far, not a good start in the Western Conference for you, Mr. Killian.
I picked the Nuggets.
You picked the Nuggets. They're right now.
And then the Spurs.
That's right. So the Nuggets right now are losing 2-1 in their series. Their next game is tomorrow, Saturday, April 25th at 8:30 p.m. And you picked the Spurs, who are tied 1-1 in their series against the Portland Trail Blazers. Their game, next game is tonight, Friday, April 24th at 10:30 p.m. So far, not the best start in terms of picks in the NBA playoffs for the Western Conference. In the Eastern Conference, you picked the Pistons. They're tied, as we just mentioned, 1-1 with the Magic. They play tomorrow, Saturday, April 25th at 1 p.m. You picked the Cavaliers over the Raptors, and right now they lead that series 2-1, which is a good pick for you there, Mr. Killian. You picked the Knicks, and right now they're losing to the number 6 Hawks, Atlanta Hawks, 2-1 in their series. And then you had picked, I think you had picked the Celtics over the 76ers, because we don't like any team from Philadelphia, do we?
Yeah.
And right now
And we don't like any team from Buffalo.
That's right. And that series is tied 1-1 with their Game 3 tonight, Friday, April 24th at 7 p.m. So, playoffs are still early. A lot of games to be played. But right now your picks are looking not so great.
A lot of sweat, too.
A lot of sweat, for sure. Okay. Yeah. So, you want to jump into some baseball? All right. So, the Tigers split with the Red Sox, two games apiece. They ended up losing the first game 1-0 in the 10th inning in extra innings. Then they went on to win the next two games 4-1 and 6-2. And then they lost the last game of the series, which happened on Boston Marathon Day. They lost that game 8-6. The Tigers' record is now 12-11, and they're a half game behind the Guardians. As for the Boston Marathon, as I mentioned, I threw a picture of the Boston Marathon on here. That's John Career. He won his second Boston Marathon in a row, and he set a course record with a time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 52 seconds to win the Boston Marathon. Do you know what a marathon is?
No.
It's a road race, and you run 26.2 miles. And Boston is a very famous marathon. The Boston Marathon is a very famous marathon where you run from a town called Hopkinton all the way down into downtown Boston, and you actually run by Fenway Park when you're running on the route.
Yeah, you run by the big green
monster. That's right. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
You run by the big green monster.
That's right. So, Tigers doing a bit better. They will be playing the Reds coming up. But before we get to that, the Guardians win 3 out of 4 over the Orioles, who are now 11-12, and they still sit third in the AL East, 1.5 game behind the Rays, while again the Cleveland Indians in the AL Central are the top team. So unfortunately, Bud, Your Orioles had a tough go against the Guardians.
Yeah, but they'll try again against the Guardians.
They'll try again, and it's a long season, isn't it?
Yeah, and they can smoke them next time.
Smoke them next time. Okay. All right. So, the next up, Tigers
and Guardians.
No, so it looks like the Guardians logo a little bit, doesn't it? But it's a little bit different.
But it's the Cubs.
No, not quite. So they traveled to Cincinnati. That's where Cincinnati Stadium is. Look, it's like right on a river. Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah.
So they traveled to Cincinnati to face the Reds.
Cincinnati Reds.
And the Reds are red hot. The Reds play in the National League, so this is a cross-league game, or a cross-league series. It's going to be a 3-game series. The first game's tonight, Friday, April 24th. Last game's on Sunday, April 26th. The Reds currently sit atop the NL Central with a 15-8 record. They are cooking.
But we need the Tigers to beat them 94-1.
94-1. Wow, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we need the Tigers to blow them out.
Blow them out, okay.
So they can be 1 loss and how many wins?
Well, so they're going to play 3 games. So do you want them to have 2 wins and 1 loss? Or do you want them to have 3 wins?
I want the Tigers to have 3 wins.
So that would take them to 15-11 on the season.
Yeah, so I want to take the Tigers to 15-11 on the season.
And that would actually bring the Reds down to 15-11 on the season. So
yeah, that would be good.
We've got a sweep for the Tigers in this series. All right, that's awesome. Actually, I'm going to take
sweep them in all 3 games.
I'm going to take a quick peek, and maybe we'll see if their game has started yet. Yep, so the game has just started as we're recording. It's the bottom of the first. Right now it's 0-0. So the Tigers are still doing pretty good. All right, next up I got one other.
Yeah, we need our catcher to keep catching them.
Yeah, I got one other series for you to pick from, okay? It's a divisional rivalry game.
Ooh,
We've got the
Brewers.
The Milwaukee Brewers. That's right. They're 12-9. They host the... Do you know who this is?
I don't know.
That's the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's right, who are 13-9. They have a 3-game series from Friday to Sunday.
That's a cool stadium.
Yeah, so that's the Brewers Stadium. It's kind of indoor-outdoor. So they have a retractable roof that they can take off of the top of the stadium. So it's an outdoor field, or they can put the roof on, so it's an indoor field. Isn't that kind of cool?
When it's raining.
Yeah, that's right. They have their first game tonight as we record.
Gets rained on
at 7:40, and then they'll play through till Sunday. The NL Central, this is the division that both of these teams play in. Right now, it appears to be probably the deepest division with all the teams over 500. They all have over 500 records right now.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh? Who do you think is going to win this series? The Pirates or the Brewers?
The Brewers.
The Brewers.
Is that
right.
Brewed coffee?
You like brewed coffee. Okay, fair enough. Pretend brewed coffee. Okay. Yeah. That stuff's good, isn't it? Speaking of Pittsburgh, and this is maybe something that we'll come back to in next week's episode, the NFL draft, because I know that you probably miss talking about football, don't you? The NFL draft is going on right now.
The season's starting again?
No, not quite. The season's not quite starting yet, but this is where they get to pick the players from college that they want on their team moving forward next year as rookies. So they do a draft, and this year Pittsburgh is hosting it.
I am going to pick one of the Cowboys guys to be on the Chiefs.
Well, you don't pick other players from other NFL teams. You pick college team players to play on your team.
I want the Chiefs to borrow one of Michigan State's players.
Oh, to draft one of Michigan State's players?
Yeah.
So
you can be... So we need one of Michigan State's players to be our backup rookie.
Oh, okay.
Be our backup rookie.
That'd be pretty cool.
Even next year, we can get one more player from Michigan State.
Yeah. What position do you think that the Chiefs really need a player from Michigan State in?
All they need is 2 more rookies.
2 more rookies. But for what position? Would they play offense? Would they play defense?
So one for each position.
Okay, 1 for each side of the ball. 1 offense, 1 defense.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So I was going to give you a couple updates of some of the players who got drafted. Some of them you might recognize their names. So drafted number 1 overall by the Las Vegas Raiders was quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza is going to be a Las Vegas Raider now. He got drafted by them.
Ooh.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah, he can stay drafted for a little. He can stay drafted for He can stay drafted for this new season, but I'm gonna pick him to be on the 3rd season.
Oh, okay. So the Chiefs had the 6th overall pick in the draft. They traded up for the Cleveland Browns. And they got Mansour Delane, who's a cornerback. He plays defense. He used to play for the... What team is that? You see him in the picture? Can you tell? The LSU Tigers.
The LSU Tigers!
He used to play for them, and now he's going to be a cornerback for the Chiefs. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, just for 1 extra, just in case.
Here's another name that I think you'll remember. Do you remember who was the quarterback for Alabama this last year?
I don't know.
Do you remember his name?
Well, I know one from the Hoosiers.
That's Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, but for Alabama, it was Ty Simpson.
Ty Simpson.
He got drafted 13th overall by the LA Rams.
By the LA Rams.
So he's going to be the backup quarterback or one of the backup quarterbacks to Matthew Stafford, who used to be the Lions quarterback back in the day. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see, who else do we might recognize? The Lions had the 17th overall pick, and they picked an offensive tackle named Blake Miller from Clemson.
Blake Miller from Clemson?
Yep, so he's going to be a guy protecting Jared Goff, hopefully in the next year. And then let's see if we see any other names. Those Philadelphia Eagles, they drafted Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver from USC.
Oh, we
don't like USC or Philadelphia, do we?
Yeah, we need that USA. We need that USC guy for the Chiefs, too. Yeah, we need him.
Well, here, the Chiefs had the 29th pick, so they had 2 picks in the first round. They had the 29th pick in the draft, and they picked defensive tackle Peter Woods from Clemson.
Peter Woods?
Yeah, there's a good defenseman. Go along.
Yeah, we have him, too.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
and so right now, as we're recording, they're doing round 2. It looks like so far only 1 pick has been made. It was Deshaun Stribling from Ole Miss, went to the San Francisco 49ers, wide receiver. So the draft is going on right now. Maybe next week we'll do a full review of the draft. We'll find some more things to talk about. Okay?
Yeah, maybe next year.
Yeah.
I can pick one of the other guys from. We can pick a guy from. Another guy from we can pick one from. We can draft one of the Lions. Can draft another guy.
Yeah.
from the
Well, I think we definitely did a good pick. I don't know how good of the exact pick it is, but I think it's important that we're getting better offensive linemen because Jared Goff got beat up last year. And I think it'd probably be a good idea to get some better secondary defense.
We need
some cornerbacks and safeties and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and we can also get another guy from Alabama for the Chiefs.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so now that we talked about a little bit of NFL, we've talked about baseball, we've talked about the NBA. You want to talk about the NHL playoffs?
Yeah.
All right, so this is where we're at with the NHL playoffs as of right now. Before we jump into it, we never got a chance to pick the Western Conference teams that you think that are going to make it through. Now, it's a little bit skewed right now because the series are already 3 games in for most of them. So take that into consideration.
Got it.
In the first series, the Avalanche are playing the Kings, and the Avalanche already have a 3-0 series lead. So they just need to win one more game to make it to the next round of the playoffs. Okay? So you got the Avalanche and the Kings. Who would you typically have picked between those two?
I would do this.
The Avalanche?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good pick.
I don't like the Kings.
Don't like the Kings. Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Dallas Stars against the Minnesota Wild. Right now, they're 3 games in, and Dallas leads the series 2-1. Their next game is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, April 25th at 5:30 p.m. Who do you like in that series, Killian? Who do you have typically picked?
Stars.
The Stars. Yeah, I thought so. Next up, we've got
they're a 2 seed.
Right, yeah. Next up, we got the Golden Knights, who are the other 1 seed against the number 4 seed, Utah Mammoth. That series is tied 1-1, and they play tonight as we record. They're playing at 9:30 p.m. tonight. So who would you pick in that matchup?
Knights.
The Golden Knights. Yeah, I had a feeling you don't like
we
We don't like the Mammoth, do we?
Yeah.
All right, and then
I don't even like that logo.
I know you don't like that logo at all, do you? All right, last but not
the Tusks.
It's the Tusks.
Yeah, it's the Tusks that freak me out.
Oh, they freak you out. Okay. Now, last but not least, we have the number 2 Oilers, Edmonton Oilers, against the number 3 Anaheim Ducks. And this series is tied 1-1 right now. So who would you have typically picked in that series?
Because I like swimming, I like the Ducks.
Going with the Ducks. All right. Very good. So, in the East, you had picked the Sabres. And the Sabres are up on the Bruins 2-1 in their series.
Nice.
Yep.
They jumped back up after losing.
Yeah,
the Ottawa Senators.
That's right. And in Game 1, actually, of this series, the Buffalo Sabres were down 3-1 going into maybe the last 8 minutes of the third period. And they scored 2 goals to tie it and then scored the overtime goal to win the first game of the series. It was very exciting.
Yeah, was it 4-3?
4-3, that's right.
Nice. That's better. That's
Good
better
math.
than what the Red Wings did to eliminate themselves.
That's right. Next up, you had picked the Canadiens over the Lightning. Right now, that series is tied 1-1. And they're actually playing as we record. Let's do a quick sneak peek and see how it's going. It's 0-0, just started. So hopefully the Canadiens can get another win over the Lightning. They're playing at home now. So they stole one away from the Lightning in Tampa Bay, which is always a good thing to do when you're the lower seed.
Yeah, I stole one away from Tampa Bay.
They did.
Which is really great.
Yep.
Next we got the Hurricanes.
Next you got the Hurricanes.
Ottawa Senators.
That's right, and the Hurricanes.
That game is 3-0.
Yeah, Carolina's up in the series 3-0. So they just need one more win. Tomorrow, they play tomorrow, Saturday, April 25th at 3 p.m.
That needs to be 4. That needs
4
to be
4-0.
No. Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah, that's when you say, get the brooms out. It's a sweep.
Yeah, get the brooms out. It's a sweep.
That's right. And then last but not least, you had picked the Penguins over the Flyers. Unfortunately, the Flyers are up 3-0 in that series. So this is actually a fun fact for you, Killian.
What?
So there's 3 series that are at 3-0 right now, right?
Wow.
This could be
the
first time since 2009.
This could be a nervy one.
Yep. Yeah, this could be a nervy one.
There are 3 games that are 3-0.
Yep. This could be the first time since 2009 that there were 3 first-round series that ended in sweeps. In a sweep.
Yeah, that would
And
be great.
what's crazy is last year in the first round there were no sweeps in the first round.
Ties.
They were all not ties, but they were all sorts of really great series. So that's our roundup or our review of the NHL playoffs.
All right,
How are you feeling about it?
I'm kind of nervous.
Nervous?
Yeah, I'm nervous about the 3 games that are 3-0.
Okay. All right. We ready?
Yeah.
Who do you feel really good about? You're nervous about those ones. But
I feel really good about the Hurricanes.
Hurricanes. How about the Sabres?
The most nervous one, my biggest concern is the Knights against the Mammoth, because the Mammoth are a really strong team.
They are a strong team.
So they could start off winning, but then the Knights could come back.
Yeah, the Mammoth did take one from the Golden Knights in Las Vegas, so that's always a nervy sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Ready? I've got 3 more things for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Ready to do some Australian Footy League?
Yeah.
Let's go. So Australian Footy League, a review. The Geelong Cats smoked the Western Bulldogs.
Sorry, Uncle Mike.
Yeah, 131-56 in round 6 of the AFL season.
I picked the Bulldogs.
You did. I went 2-1 on my picks. You went 1-2. The Bulldogs, that's their second loss in a row. The Cats move from 6th to 8th, and they leapfrog over the Bulldogs as the Bulldogs drop from 4th to 7th. Let's go, Cats.
Let's go Lions.
Let's go, Lions. All right, so next up, the Port Adelaide Power. In 10th, they faced off against the Hawthorn Hawks, who are 3rd. The Hawthorn Hawks won a close one over Port Adelaide Power, 89-86 for their 5th win in a row. You did pick the Hawks. That was a good win, Killian.
Yeah.
The win keeps the Hawks in 3rd place. Whoa! And the loss moves the Power down to 12th. I liked that Hawk sound. That was awesome. Wow. Hopefully our listeners have their volume a little bit lower as they're listening, because that was loud.
Yeah, that's how long a hawk.
All right,
That's
next
how
up,
long a hawk is.
the Brisbane Lions, who are 6th.
Yes.
They lost
Oh,
to the Melbourne Demons, 104 to 102. The loss moves the Lions down to 9th and moves the Demons up to 8th. Your poor Lions, licking their wounds from the Demons.
yeah, but next time Brisbane plays the Lions, we're gonna lick them right out. We're gonna lick their series.
Oh yeah, you're gonna lick the series. All right, very good.
Yeah, for the.
All right, and then last but not least, now we got picks.
Sydney Swans.
So I've got 4 picks for you, okay?
Got it.
First up, we've got the Western Bulldogs, hoping to get back to their winning ways, but they have a tough matchup against the league-leading...
Against the Sydney Swans.
The league-leading Sydney Swans this weekend. Who do you like in that one, Killian?
Bulldogs.
All right, very good. And then next up, Geelong. They're hoping to extend their win streak to 3 games, and they face off against the Port Adelaide Power, the team that just lost a close one to the Hawthorn Hawks. Who do you like in this matchup, Killian?
Geelong.
Geelong, me
'Cause I
too.
don't like the Power.
Let's go, Geelong.
Only when they're not playing the Bulldogs.
Right. Oh, or the Lions.
Yeah, I'm not picking them.
All right, next up, the other hottest team in the league right now, with a 5-game win streak, similar to the Hawthorn Hawks, is the Fremantle Dockers.
The Dockers.
Who actually, I'm pretty sure Granddad told us that that's who he's rooting for this year. The Fremantle Dockers. Currently sitting in second above the Hawthorn Hawks. They will face the Carlton Blues, who are in 16th and
Why
are
are they
1 in 5. I think it's a really dark blue. I think it's hard to kind of tell. Who do you like, Killian, between Fremantle and Carlton?
Oh, I'm gonna do this one as a tie.
As a tie, okay. All right.
I don't like any of these teams.
Very good, very good. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm gonna pick Fremantle. I think they're gonna get the win for sure. All right, and then last but not least, Brisbane.
Oh yeah!
They're in 9th. They're gonna play a team that I don't think we've talked about before. This is the Adelaide Crows.
Ooh.
Which would be a team that Aunt Mary would not like, right?
Yeah.
Because they're another bird. So
Yeah.
they play. Adelaide Crows are in 10th right now. They're going to play Sunday, April 26th at 1:15 a.m. The Crows are on a 2-game win streak, and a win would see them climb over the Lions in the ladder. So this is a really important game between 9 and 10. Who do you like in this matchup, Killian? Brisbane. Very good. All right, that's what we've got for the AFL. Next up, I'm going to do 2 soccer recaps, okay?
It has to be West Ham.
Yeah. So first, this weekend is the FA Cup semifinal weekend. And we already made our picks for these, but I just wanted to kind of show what's going on. And this is the stadium that they play in, Wembley Stadium. Man City is going to kick off against Southampton at Wembley Stadium on Saturday, April 25th at 12:15 p.m. You would pick Southampton in this matchup. Do you still like that pick?
Yeah.
Southampton over Man City?
Yeah, but
I like that too.
Man City.
All right, and then next up, Chelsea, who just fired their coach.
What?
They fired their coach because he went on a 5-game losing streak.
How did they fire their
They
coach?
just got rid of him, even though they're in the FA Cup semifinal. I wonder how Uncle Steven feels about this. But they're going to kick off against Leeds on Sunday, April 26th at 10 a.m. Who do you like in this matchup, Killian? I think you picked Chelsea.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll get the new manager bounce. I don't know. It could, or the interim manager bounce. It could be good for them. Who knows?
Yeah. Is there a West Ham pick?
Yes. So next up we got the Premier League.
Let's see it.
All right. So in the Premier League, we're gonna do a review first. Brighton and Tottenham played to a 2-2 draw on Saturday, leaving the Spurs in the relegation zone 2 points behind West Ham. The Spurs were heartbroken by a Jorginho Rudder stoppage time goal in the 90+5 or the 95th minute. So Tottenham, Brighton, tie. Nottingham Forest thrashed Burnley 4-1 with all 4 goals in the second half after going into halftime down 1-0. Morgan Gibbs-White scored a hat trick with goals in the 62nd, 69th, and 77th minutes. Forest are now 5 points clear of the relegation zone, and actually, Killian, today, as we before we recorded, they played Sunderland. Nottingham Forest did, and they won 5-0 over Sunderland, which now moves them or keeps them in 16th, but now they are 6 points ahead of West Ham and 7 points ahead of the drop zone. Almost theoretically, if they get one more point, they're probably going to be clear of relegation. So we might not even have to talk about Nottingham Forest anymore. I think they've saved themselves. Okay. Arsenal played Man City 1-2, and they dropped 3 points after losing 2-1. And the Citizens are now only 3 points back, and actually, in between that game and now, Man City beat Burnley 1-0 on Wednesday, April 22nd, and now stand at the top of the table as the number 1 team. They're both at 70 points.
We need to take Man City down.
They're both tied on point differential with a plus 37 point, but I think Man City gets the tiebreaker over Arsenal because they beat Arsenal. After trading goals in the first half in the 16th and 18th minute, Erling Haaland scored in the 65th minute to give Man City the win. And then last but not least, we've got West Ham. They settled with a 0-0 draw to Crystal Palace, and they keep their safety hopes alive as they still remain 2 points ahead of Spurs with 5 games left to play. So,
oh, is that Jared Bowen?
That is Jared Bowen.
Nice.
Yep. So we've got some.
He almost stopped that guy.
Yep. We've got some big picks to make today. We've got 2 picks. Okay, I'm gonna skip over the Sunderland Nottingham Forest one because I think I had it in here late. But first up, West Ham kick off against Everton, who currently sit in 10th.
We gotta kick this. We gotta kick Mama's butt.
Yeah, Mom is a big fan of Everton, the Toffees.
Yeah, but they gotta. She has to stick. She has to stick with our hometown team.
Oh, we'll have to ask her, maybe off air. But they play Saturday, April 25th at 10 a.m. on Peacock. Who do you like in this matchup, Killian?
West Ham.
West Ham, let's go. All right, next up, Wolverhampton, who sit in 20th. They kick off against Tottenham, who are in 18th on Saturday, April 25th at 10 a.m. on USA. Wolves have been relegated, having spent the entire season in the relegation zone starting in Week 1 with their 4-0 loss to Man City and secured with their 3-0 loss to Leeds last weekend. This is the first time in 60 years that a team has spent the entire season in the relegation zone. They never left 20th place. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Which happened to be 60 years ago. It was the Wolverhampton Wanderers in 1965 who also spent that entire season in the relegation zone. But although they've spent the entire season in the relegation zone, I'm going to pick them to win over Tottenham. Me too. They got to beat Tottenham. They got to help us West Ham fans out, don't they?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like your wolf howl. That's really, really good. So, that's all the picks that I have for us today. Killian.
Let me make sure.
Go ahead and make sure. Do you have anything else that you'd like to say to the listeners? Oh, leave it. Would you like anything else that you'd like to say to the listeners? Thanks so much for listening. Again, please be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast. Please leave a comment. Send us an email. What's our email address?
Let's talk sports, cjpj@gmail.com.
And we hope you have another great weekend of sports. See you next week.